The anger palpable.
He belongs in China!
Misogynistic insults, death threats, and this. A black officer called the N-word. As an angry crowd of protesters surrounded a campaign venue in Cambridge, Ontario, the press conference was delayed for over an hour as the RCMP conducted a risk assessment. Liberal Leader Justin Trudeau was defiant when he emerged.
Do we fall into division and hatred and racism and violence? Or do we say, no, you know what? That doesn't work to get us to back down. That won't scare Canadians from standing up for what's right.
While the crowd blared car alarms and shouted profanities, the Liberal leader pressed on with a message about climate change.
The sirens in the background may remind us that this is a climate emergency. That's why we will move faster and be bolder.
Promising to cut oil and gas emissions to make sure half of all cars sold by 2030 will be zero emission. The crowds have dogged Trudeau on the campaign trail, escalating on Friday with the cancellation of an event. Other party leaders have been swift to denounce the incidents.
I strongly condemn any form of harassment and protest like we've seen.
Mr. Trudeau and his team were worried about their safety. That should never have happened, and that's wrong.
Hey, Michelle, there's pictures.
And it's not just the Liberal leader. Calgary Conservative candidate Michelle Rempel-Garner released a statement about this incident, a man videotaping her while she was out for dinner. She says in these moments, quote, "I don't feel like they see me as a human." Anger toward politicians is not new, but this feels different according to this expert who has watched Canadian politics for years.
I think what's distressing about this is the degree to which it's really just parroting what's going on in the United States.
The Liberal leader is now here in Montreal, and while his team does not discuss security specifics, there does seem to be an increased presence of officers, including some that we saw in full tactical gear, possibly the new normal as the campaign nears the midway point. Travis Stanrash, CBC News, Montreal.
Well, joining us now, CBC News chief political correspondent Rosemary Barton. And Rosie, you've covered a lot of political campaigns. Have you seen anything like this?
Yeah, I mean, sadly, yes. This is not new to Canada. Back in 2018, Ian, there were those so-called yellow vesters, protesters who were using very similar violent language against the Liberal leader. I've seen it against Conservatives too under Stephen Harper, but they were not quite like this. What is different here? I would say two things. The level of anger and vitriol does seem sharper. It seems directly connected to management of the pandemic and vaccines, which, as we know, has bred a whole bunch of conspiracy theories that exist online and elsewhere. And then the real security risks you heard Travis talk about there. It's clearly concerning enough that there's an additional police presence around Justin Trudeau right now. And that should be deeply concerning for any candidate, any political leader in this country now, regardless of who is the target.